Hello and welcome back. So, my dashboard is awesome. It's telling me I have no copper ore. It's really quite unhappy about the lack of copper ore. Okay, so why might that be? Okay, so there's a bit of train congestion, but you know, that happens. I've put in a third steel smelter, but that shouldn't be what the issue is. Okay, there's a lack of incoming trains. Obviously need to put down lots more beacons. There's some trains here. Trains. Okay, a train jam. A train jam here. And here. And here. In fact, it was so bad, I had to come out with a car to figure out what it was. Here I am. This is the refueling train, which ironically has run out of fuel. So, joy. So it drops off fuel everywhere. I think I may have forgotten to supply it with fuel. We will find out in a moment. Let's head to the nuclear fuel site and see. Okay, so let's put this on manual. There we are. Yeah, there's no... Well, there you are. Physician heal thyself and all that. Okay. So now the fuel supply train has fuel being supplied to itself. So hopefully that's fixed that problem. Okay, so while you've been away, I put down another steel build, so we're up to 3 steel builds. I put down another red circuit build, so that's now got 2 of those. And if we look at our production stats for 1 hour, this is where half an hour ago I put in the red circuit second build. You can see it's almost doubled the red circuits. This is our steel production, and you can see since I put in the third module, the production is up. It's fallen off again because we had that that ore train snarl up. And on the other side, this is the consumption chart. Let's put it to 1 hour. Right, so it's sawtoothing. When it's up at the top, the labs are running. In the Megabase labs are running. When it's down at the bottom, these are just the labs in the home base. Okay, so we are managing to more consistently run the labs for a period of time at full speed, at 2K. Before it was just peaking up, but now we're starting to plateau off. So it's going to be a game now of basically finding resource bottlenecks and fixing them. Alright, I'm going to jump out here. Because we are going to take the train to the modules. Right. So the modules build was throttled on red circuits. Since we doubled the red circuit production, that seems to have got that build running again. I wouldn't say we have enough red circuits, but we seem to have enough red circuits that we are now producing modules. So the short-term goal is to build this up so that we are stably running at 2K. 1.998 or whatever the labs run at. So rather than this sawtooth pattern, I want to fix things until we are running pretty consistently at 2K. Okay, and that's going to be jobs like increasing the red circuits, but it's going to be going around with that head-up display, with the resource monitor display, finding what the next resource is. Now, I have a feeling the next thing we're going to run out of is power. And I need to come out with a more sustainable way of doing solar than I have been. So we'll have a think about that maybe. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do this episode. It's going to be a little bit bitty because I'm just trying to get some builds up and running. So this site is off currently. We are out of red circuits, which we've improved the situation over where we were, but it is not perfect yet. Okay. And I keep grabbing these out of here quicker than they can be collected and taken back to base. So let's just hover over it. Yeah, red circuits, it's complaining about that. And we are currently low on ore. We have, yeah, we're 2 ore trains shy. Iron ore. Alright, back to steel. Let's have a quick check to see if there's nothing else wrong with the ore. Okay, so this is our hyper-efficient bot mining site. It was 53 million, it's now 47, so this is being ripped through quite quickly. But it is doing the job. So yeah, we're managing to fill 2 trains at a time fairly consistently. We could probably put another train in here. I'm not sure if that would fix the problem, but it wouldn't hurt, would it? And you can see there's a lot of trains now traveling around on this bit of track. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's empty. 6. That one's empty. So we've got 4 stations currently empty of ore. Although not all of them had run out of ore apparently. Okay, so, and this is actually getting quite big now, just the sheer size of the site. Okay, so let's run off and dump some of these. We might have enough to finish this build, I'm not sure. Okay, so I think this is the sort of time where we have a bit of a take stock. So things I have learned. These modular sites are really nice. I like them. I should have designed them with bigger stackers. So rather than 4, 6, for example. I think 6 would be enough, but it needs some sort of stacking. Oh, we're missing a drone port there. All right, we'll go get that. The other thing is I'm doing a lot of building everything by hand, which is less than ideal. It's a lot of running around. For the bigger builds, I get my car out and fill the inventory of the car and then run backwards and forwards. It's not the best way of doing things. I think if I was doing this again, I would try and set up these modular bot builds so that so if you see here, okay, I could put a drone port out here, just the other side of this track. So let's run up to the end and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, I'll run up to the other end and try not to get run over. Okay, so let's say I put a drone port there. And I put a drone port. And this is the problem. This actually has quite a substantial range on it. Okay, and we'll power these up because I think otherwise my point won't be made. Okay, and then I think I can turn off my personal drones with what is it? Okay. Yeah, so I think I've turned off my personal. No, I haven't. What is the right options? Controls, mods. Oh, I don't have the mod in here to disable. Right. And I probably have too much inventory to switch into a... Let's stand somewhere entertaining. There may be an inventory explosion. We'll find out. No, there isn't. That's good. Okay. So this body has no drone ports. So I pick up a blueprint. Okay, so you can see this drone port here builds out this far. This drone port here builds out this far. So if I wanted a solution where I could build these logistics modules, put my big suit on. So what I really want is for these modules to be buildable by just putting down a blueprint. But I also want them to have their individual logistics networks. But you could see there the construction from drone ports either side don't overlap in the middle. So if I was doing this again, I would probably size the builds so that the drone ports did meet in the middle. Now, it might be a case of lining them up so they go east to west. You can imagine... Let's go out one from there. Okay, and then yeah, I wouldn't be able to go there because that would be in the middle of the build, so I'd need something out here, say. Okay, now let's change into my combat only suit. And I've lost that one bot, that's fine. Right, so if I pick up a blueprint now. Right, so these construction areas overlap now, I believe. So perhaps I could do something where the drone ports will go the other way, but it's still no good. Because that and that overlap sideways, so I'd have to move this out. Anyway, you get the idea. So I couldn't see a way that we could set this up to have basically a construction swarm with little logistics areas embedded within it, so that you could plop down a new blueprint. It would have some drone ports as a backbone, a sort of umbilical, a sort of skeleton around the outside of drone ports. And then it would be able to build something with an isolated logistics net on the inside. I just couldn't see how to do it. So this is as close as you can get there. The problem is we're so covered in logi in networks, it's difficult to... Right, so that's the... I just need to not overlap things, I think. Alright, and then we'll put this... Yeah, and there's just no way that these two are going to have... Oh, they might. No, they don't. They have a gap. Back into my combat suit so you can see. Alright, so if I stand here, this is between those two networks. And there's this gap. Okay, so answers on a postcard. If you can think of a way to arrange roboports around isolated builds so that the roboports logistics areas don't overlap the builds logistics, I'm all ears. Till then, I just have to run around doing a lot of building, or I build things with overlapping logi networks, which is no good for production. What else would I have done differently? So I like having a train stacked behind the other train. That's working well. This T-bar was a really nice idea. In practice, trains have a tendency to get deadlocked here. So when something goes wrong, one of the first symptoms is that this T-bar goes wrong, because you get trains snaking up here and then cutting across. So there are solutions to this. I could basically turn this whole big rectangle into a massive four-sided roundabout type thing, right? So basically I would snip off half of this so that you can only... So basically there's no crossing turn here. So I'd take out this here. But that's not ideal, because there are legitimately materials that sometimes need to go up and across there, and it'd be a shame to push them all the way over the top of the build. Okay, how are we doing for resources? Okay, so we've got some lights, steel still, red circuit still, but we are almost there, back to normal on ore. So do I want to do another red circuit build? Do I want to do another steel build? I don't know. I think I would like to have a look at the steel build and see if it is functioning. Okay, so we have a... That's fine, that's fine. This one is now out of plate. So our dashboard, if it's working correctly, should be telling us that we have a requirement for plate. And here we are. No, it's not. Okay. So that's the next thing to look at, because I have to have accurate reporting to be able to do the fixes. Okay. So this 23K. This 7.5K. This has a single plate somewhere. Okay, I'll have to figure that out. Anyway, this is where we're at, so I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll find the missing single plate, which is mucking up the reporting. I will put in extra replicates of builds where they're needed. All right, bye-bye.